In the process of moving a disabled vehicle in a tricky spot eastbound 40 off-ramp of the business loop. Flashing lights at least as of about 3-4 minutes ago. Central Avenue, Summit Hill just off of Central Avenue.
There you are, stuck in traffic again at the end of a grueling day. As you thread your way home, you think longingly of getting outside to savor the beautiful afternoon, of having a few minutes to yourself to stretch your legs and just unwind. You mull over your options, maybe a bike ride through your neighborhood, or a leisurely walk by the river. Or, if you're lucky enough to live in a community that has a greenway system, you might find yourself in this type of setting instead, where the stresses of the day melt away as you enjoy the scenery along the greenway, your connection to the natural world. All across America, an increasing number of citizens have joined together in an effort to preserve open space, improve the environment, and stimulate local economies by creating greenways in their own communities. This program, prepared by members of the Knoxville Greenways Coalition, will provide an overview of these remarkable and timely projects and outline the potential benefits of a greenway system for Knoxville and Knox County.
Let me tell you about a trail we can build right in our city. Like a park, but it's so much more, 'cause it goes for miles, touching everyone. Place to run or ride your bike, away from all the cars and noise. But when you want to get outside, you just go to the Greenway. Walking with your children, or sit out in the sun. Or have you got a four-legged friend who chases frisbees for his fun? Or if you're thinking about the mountains, but oh, they're just too far away, save an hour just for you any time of the day. Go to the Greenway. Find it real close by. Go to the Greenway. A natural place that's standing by. When you've got that stressed out feeling, hit the trails for some natural healing. Head out to the Greenway and set your spirit free.
Greenways are linear parks linking areas of public access such as existing parks, natural features, schools, work sites, and neighborhoods. They can be as simple as a stretch of stream bank left wild, or as involved as a 25-mile spur of abandoned railroad track converted to a jogging or biking path. Usually following a natural corridor such as a creek or ridge top, greenways act as breaks in urban sprawl, providing a variety of outdoor experiences and recreational opportunities while helping to protect the environment. Greenways allow our urbanized population to enjoy recreation in an outdoor, natural setting convenient to their homes. They provide accessible places to run, bicycle, or simply take a stroll while enjoying nature. Greenways can be used by anyone at any age, including the physically challenged. Best of all, these activities can be pursued without the annoyances and hazards of automobile traffic. While the idea of incorporating open space into urban environments goes back hundreds of years, the Greenway movement in America owes its greatest debt of existence to the work of Frederick Law Olmsted. As the man who coined the title landscape architect to describe his chosen profession, Olmsted and his contemporaries were responsible for developing a number of landmark parks and park systems before the turn of the century. It was after completing such well-designed and expansive projects as New York Central Park and Prospect Park in Brooklyn that Olmsted fully realized that the beneficial effects of parks would remain minimal unless they could be linked to one another and to surrounding residential neighborhoods. The resulting park and parkway concept was employed in several subsequent projects, including the spacious Elm Line Parkway at Riverside, Illinois. As illustrated by this 1869 plan, Riverside was particularly significant for setting aside lands along the river's floodplain as public open space. Perhaps the greatest greenway achievement of Olmsted's firm is Boston's Emerald Necklace. The original design, proposed in 1887, preserved a 4.5-mile arc of open space around the city and inspired current efforts to create a larger outer necklace known as the Bay Circuit. Other planners and designers carried the concept still farther to create urban open space prototypes around the country, such as the Metropolitan Park System in Minneapolis-St. Paul, completed in 1895. This landmark project now includes a 55-mile parkway system with 38 miles of walking trails and 36 miles of biking trails through a total of over 6,000 acres. These early efforts to preserve common public ground were not exclusive to the larger northern cities. Thomas Hughes, the founder of Rugby, Tennessee, made the following comment during his opening address in 1880. "We have here 2 beautiful streams which will be a delight forever to those who dwell here, if they are left free for the use and enjoyment of all. Therefore, in laying out the town, we have reserved a strip of various widths along the banks, which will remain common property, and along which we hope to see walks and rides carefully laid out and kept in order." The township of Norris, Tennessee, provides a 20th century example of the use of the Greenway concept to guide initial planning efforts and prevent urban sprawl from overrunning the countryside. Unfortunately, such progressive planning was the exception to the rule after World War I, and it wasn't until the 1980s that the modern Greenway movement truly coalesced. In 1987, the President's Commission on Americans Outdoors, created by executive order of President Ronald Reagan and chaired by Governor Lamar Alexander, released the results of 2 years of study of this country's outdoor recreational needs. One of the most newsworthy recommendations of the Commission, of which Victor Ashe served as executive director, called for a system of local, state, and national greenways that would tie the nation together. Many communities around the country have already begun to follow the Commission's recommendation. As you will see during this program, the projects that have been completed around the country demonstrate that there are countless ways of expressing the Greenway concept. From Raleigh, North Carolina, to Anchorage, Alaska, communities have proven that the Greenway is an idea whose time has come. Greenways offer several important benefits to people. Most apparent is the fact that they provide convenient and easily accessible open spaces in which to pursue recreational activities. The long, thin shape of the corridor provides more access points than a more compact park. Therefore, more people are able to make use of the facilities. Greenways can provide attractive alternatives to morning and evening traffic jams. Biking and hiking trails, included in many greenways, can serve as non-motorized transportation routes between business and residential areas, allowing people to walk or bicycle to work. Special events such as nature study classes, crafts instruction, programs for children and senior citizens, and running events are natural uses for a greenway and trail system. Greenway corridors adjacent to schools can also provide an open-air classroom for such subjects as biology, geology, history, and social studies. The urban wildlife associated with greenways provides for urban residents a key educational as well as physical tie to the natural environment. In fact, understanding the habits and haunts of birds or squirrels in the city can be the first step toward understanding the forces governing natural ecosystems on a much larger scale. Greenways also act as aesthetically pleasing buffer zones between areas of incompatible land use, such as residential and industrial developments. Finally, the process of planning and creating greenways brings a community together and instills in its members a sense of pride and accomplishment. Studies of communities located near open space areas and greenways reveal numerous economic benefits. Increased property values and faster sales of real estate located near greenways and other open areas have been repeatedly observed. The reason is obvious. Many people want to live close to greenways and the amenities they offer. Special events held on or near greenways, such as road races, river parades, festivals, or concerts, attract visitors from other areas and can have a substantial impact on local economies. These types of events can also be used to raise money and promote the Greenway itself. Finally, a Greenway system, by improving the quality of life of a community, can be a significant factor in attracting new businesses and residents to the area. Greenways also benefit our environment. The natural vegetation in a greenway slows runoff from paved roads and agricultural fields, filtering out sediment and pollutants to improve the quality of our water. The foliage of plants growing in a greenway improves the air we breathe by trapping dust and releasing oxygen. In addition, the existence of these corridors of green within cities helps reduce the retention of heat by buildings and streets in the summer, often keeping them several degrees cooler. Greenways aid wildlife by providing habitat and safe corridors for migration. Migratory routes of many animals are blocked by cities and roads. Greenways help them move from one place to another without having to cross these dangerous areas, thereby protecting populations and enhancing diversity. The edge effect along the corridor provides a home for a variety of bird and wildlife species. Land for greenways generally costs much less than traditional park land because the corridors most appropriate for greenways are frequently unsuitable for development. Creek floodplains are usually zoned against development so that communities can qualify for federally subsidized flood insurance. Maintaining these areas as open space accomplishes several goals, including reduction of flood damage and elimination of expensive and unnecessary construction projects such as stream channelization. The incorporation of such goals into development projects can significantly reduce costs associated with stormwater management and treatment, while providing attractive amenities to nearby residents and businesses. In a similar fashion, ridges, utility corridors, and abandoned railroad rights-of-way provide ideal open space corridors for greenway development and can be protected through easements if not already on public land. A common concern raised when a greenway is proposed for land that is not publicly owned is the loss of potential tax revenues. According to Charles Little, author of Greenways for America, the existence of a greenway is far more likely to have a positive effect on tax revenues and to produce substantial public cost savings as well. While it is impossible to highlight the many national greenway projects so adequately described in Mr. Little's book, there are several important regional success stories that can provide inspiration for Knoxville's future greenway development. The plan for the Capital Area Greenway in Raleigh, North Carolina, differed from its predecessors by calling for the establishment of a comprehensive greenway system. The driving force behind the Raleigh Greenway was Bill Flournoy, at the time a graduate student in landscape architecture, who firmly believed that natural environmental functions do not need to be displaced as cities expand. This landmark project, begun in 1974, has served as the model for over 35 local greenway systems in North Carolina, as well as numerous others throughout the country. The goal of Raleigh's greenway planners is to develop 200 miles of greenway trails by the year 2000. Also established in the early 70s, the Greenway in Maryville, Tennessee was originally designed as a floodplain management project covering a total of 22 acres. City planners have indicated that the public acceptance and enjoyment of the Greenway has been phenomenal, and plans are underway to expand the Greenway toward Alcoa and the existing Sandy Springs Park. Chattanooga's River Park plan, for which several phases have already been completed, is based entirely on the principle that greenways can reduce costs and produce public money for the community. Both public and private partnerships have committed resources to a long-range redevelopment project that will eventually involve a 20-mile stretch of the Tennessee River. A key feature of the plan is the River Walk, a 2-mile park and trail system completed in 1989. Open 24 hours a day, the River Walk has proven to be extremely popular with residents and tourists alike. Complementing the River Park plan is a larger greenway system envisioned in 1975 by landscape architect Sam Rogers. Designed to follow the smaller tributaries of the Tennessee, the Greenway will serve to provide recreational and environmental benefits while linking neighborhoods throughout the city to the river. The North Chickamauga Creek Greenway represents the first phase of the tributary system. Established primarily through the efforts of the local Chamber of Commerce, the Greenway offers several miles of trails through a beautiful natural area. As a model for a greenway system in Knoxville and Knox County, Chattanooga is probably most comparable in terms of population and natural resources. Blessed with its rolling countryside, scenic ridgetops, and numerous creeks, Knox County offers excellent potential for a similar network of protected green corridors. Although it may seem that Knoxville lags far behind the efforts of other cities to preserve and create special places for its residents, the celebration of the bicentennial throughout 1991 has generated a renewed interest in the potential of the waterfront to provide a gathering place adjacent to the downtown area. A long-term waterfront development plan adopted by City Council is expected to generate both cultural and economic benefits for area residents. While the plans for Knoxville's waterfront are impressive, there are other, perhaps more urgent civic issues deserving consideration. High on the list are the closely related problems of environmental degradation and the lack of public open space throughout our area. The streams that played such a prominent role in the early history of Knoxville are not even recognizable today as the healthy, free-flowing natural features they once were. In many cases, they have been confined to concrete channels or even completely covered over, and have lost their identity and function as natural ecosystems. These and other environmental problems greatly affect the potential of our area for creating attractive and safe places for outdoor recreation. The development of a greenway system, by focusing attention and efforts on the restoration and protection of these ecosystems, would allow community residents to reclaim this precious part of our natural heritage. As an example, this view of Knoxville's first creek documents the all-too-common destruction of native vegetation during the process of channelization. The sketch that follows depicts the same creek after restoration of the native plant communities and retrofitting of a trail system along the creek bank. In addition to promoting the repair of disturbed areas, a greenway system would provide an opportunity for recognizing the value of sensitive ecosystems such as this Knox County wetland. A partnership between citizens, government agencies, and developers would facilitate the setting aside of these valuable areas before serious disturbance occurs, and ensure that they will remain available to provide numerous environmental as well as educational benefits. One example of such an approach would be the establishment of outposts of IAM's Nature Center within the network of the Greenway system. Environmental problems aside, open space for Knoxville and Knox County falls substantially below the National Recreation and Park Association's recommended standard for an area this size. Although progress has been made in the improvement of our existing recreational facilities, a boost in the quality and quantity of our parkland would go a long way toward enriching the quality of our everyday life. Knoxville does have to its credit one good, although short, example of an interurban trail consistent with the Greenway concept. The mile-and-a-half-long Third Creek Bicycle Trail, developed in the 70s, is highly popular with local residents as well as university students. Located in a stream valley, it serves as both an environmental and recreational corridor. Although some concerns have been raised about the safety of this trail, a recent report by the Knoxville Police Department indicates that the crime rate on the trail is very, very low. This finding is consistent with the majority of Greenway experiences across the country. Sequoia Park, a large corridor of open space along the Tennessee River, provides a second example of an existing Knoxville park that offers attractive amenities for nearby residents. The year-round popularity of the park strongly attests to the demand for outdoor recreation in an accessible, natural setting. The development of a greenway system would put similar areas within reach of a substantially greater number of city and county residents and protect our existing parks from overuse. While a complete description of the greenway planning process is beyond the scope of this presentation, the steps listed here provide a general outline of what a greenways program would entail. Adoption of comprehensive greenway plans by the Knox County Commission and the Knoxville City Council. Employment of city and county greenway coordinators. Creation of a permanent governmental funding mechanism for greenway development and maintenance. And establishment of a Citizens Greenway Advisory Group. Perhaps the most vital element for ensuring that Knoxville can join the long list of greenway cities is strong public support. One of the most important things you can do is to contact the offices of the mayor and the county executive and let them know of your interest in greenways. You should also share your enthusiasm with other elected officials in the city and county and encourage groups to which you belong to join the Knox Greenways Coalition. Through a combination of individual choice and collective action, the citizens of Knoxville and Knox County can realize this very achievable and timely goal.
The city's getting bigger, the world's a parking lot. We're trading in the world of nature, and in its place what have we got? Everybody can see it now. We need progress, that's for sure. But progress may mean looking back to let the good things endure. So let's take a piece of land beside the flowing water and leave the forest standing and put a path among the trees close to where we live and work, a place for exercise and fun. Slip away from the day's routine to find the breeze and the sun and go to the Greenway. You'll find it real close by. Go to the Greenway, a natural place that's standing by. When you've got that stressed out feeling, hit the trails for some natural healing. Head out to the Greenway and set your spirit free.
A greenway system for Knoxville and Knox County represents the essence of an improved quality of life for all of its people, and as such should not be considered any less important than investments in other basic services. It certainly is not too lofty a goal to share the vision held by Raleigh's Greenway planners, to leave for our grandchildren what our grandparents enjoyed as children: trees, streams, and that quiet place from which to draw strength.
Walking with your children, or sit out in the sun, or have you got a four-legged friend who faces frisbees for its fun? Or if you're thinking about the mountains but oh they're just too far away, save an hour just for you any time of the day and go to the Greenway. You'll find it real close by. Go to the Greenway, a natural place that's standing by. When you've got that stressed out feeling, hit the trails for some natural healing. Head out to the Greenway and set your spirit free.